people! This is Princess Divinity from Anchorage. Yeah. It's been a long day, man. I'm so tired. But Spirit says, go do your video. I said, okay. Okay. But no cards? Yeah, you don't need cards. I know. So this is what I'm getting, guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting what I'm getting is there's a masculine. He's learned his lesson. He's trying to learn his lesson. He's trying to go to his divine feminine, right? But it's kind of too late. She forgave him, but it's just too late. But it's okay. At least she forgave him. That was the biggest thing ever, for her to do, She had to forgive in order to move. This might be your story, You can't go on if you don't forgive. You got to forgive and let go, right? But you got to forgive in a nice way, right? You got to talk to that person. No, you can just forgive in your heart. Because maybe that person isn't even alive maybe sometimes. Or maybe they're not even in your life anymore. Or maybe they're not in your environment or close to you. Or maybe they live at a distance, So you can forgive people from far away, But you got to forgive. If you don't forgive, you can't move on with your new person. This divine masculine has to forgive so he can move on, as this divine feminine has to move so she can move on. Do you understand? So she can, move on. If these two don't move on, they're never going to heal and they're never going to find anybody. You got to heal. If you don't heal, we'll start to heal. Try to heal. Try. Sometimes people come in your life to teach you a lesson, and sometimes people come in your life for a reason, for a season. But the thing was, this girl did come in his life for a reason because it was his love, right? But he didn't get it. His ego was big, So it's all about ego, Some men and some women have big egos, And when you have a big ego in love, that's when you lose. If you have a big ego, you don't love. No. Especially in love, guys, It's almost like if you can't fight for your love, then you never loved that for that person. But if you're trying to fight for your love now, it might be too late, because when they wanted you to fight for them, you didn't fight for them. You laughed at them. So why would they want to be with you, right? They can't. They might still love you. I mean, you can still love somebody, but it doesn't mean you got to go break bread with them. Let them go, because that time, that contract had an expiration date on it, and that was their lesson. Maybe you had to learn, maybe the girl or the guy had to learn this lifetime to even love themselves more in order to elevate to the next level, I feel in this story, the girl was supposed to learn how to elevate to the next level. And the guy was supposed to learn who was real in his life and who wasn't real in his life, And then he finally realized when he lost the love of his life, he finally realized the friends he had and the people he was around, they were never real. He didn't understand. It wasn't the quality, it wasn't the quantity of the friends, it was the quality, You can have so many friends. It's you can have a whole bunch of quantity of friends, but you got to look at the quality. I'd rather have one good friend than so many friends that are fake. As a matter of fact, I don't have any friends. I want to be physically. I have some friends online, hey, what's up? How you doing? Good morning. Other than that, I don't really have a physical real friend. I'm okay though. I'm not like, oh, please be my friend. No. I haven't met my soul tribe yet. When I meet my soul tribe, they're going to be my real friends. But I refuse to be friends with fake people. I refuse. And I'm happy on my own. And sometimes people think she's alone. You can be alone and not be lonely. Do you know that? You can be alone and not be lonely because you got to be comfortable with yourself and you got to be comfortable with your creator. So this might be your story. I don't know. I'm just saying. So this is a story of divine feminine and divine masculine. And they know each other for many lifetimes. But the thing is, that contract expired and they're going to heal on their own way. But here's the thing. There's another person, of course, in the picture because this girl has healed. Divine feminine has healed. She has to heal in order to go on because she has a purpose, right? Her and her divine husband, who Jesus is going to send in because they got a purpose for Jesus. And this person that whoever I'm talking to, whoever's watching, your person, because you might be a divine feminine who's watching, or you might be a divine masculine who's watching, and this might be your story. Please don't think this is my story because I hate when you guys think it's my story. If it's my story, I'm going to tell you this is my fucking story. No, this is for the collective. So, like I was saying, divine feminine has healed. So God is sending, and if you're divine masculine, if you're healed, then God is sending you a woman of God. Is she going to believe in God? Is she going to love God? Is she going to love you? You both are going to love each other. That's what I'm getting. But it's not going to be with anybody in the past, guys. And I know some people want to be with your past lovers, past lovers, or even past lives, but no. God cut all those contracts because those contracts didn't want to move with you, like go along with you. They didn't want to follow the assignment. And if they didn't want to follow the assignment, it's not the girl's fault or the guy's fault right now. If you don't want to follow the assignment, don't blame God. He gave you signs. He gave you signals. He gave you all that, but your ego was too big. You wanted to listen to your mommy and daddy, or you wanted to hear your friends, or you wanted to make fun of a girl that loved you. And maybe you're a guy that you loved her and she made fun of you. I don't know your story. I don't. That's what I'm getting, people. Let's drink. So like I'm saying, that's what's going on in the collective. So if you haven't healed, please start healing, Mind, body, and soul. How do you do that? The first thing you do is you get rid of your karmic friends, karmic family members, right? Then you start healing your body. You start eating healthy food and you start getting rid of the junk food that you used to eat that was toxic. And you stop drinking like a motherfucker. Yeah, I did say motherfucker, I'm not saying don't drink, but don't. Everything has a limit to it, like moderation. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm also getting this divine masculine couldn't leave to be with his person from past life was because he was already with somebody else. She didn't know, But now he's decided to leave, but it's too late because guess what? Divine feminine, maybe she is interested in somebody. Maybe she likes somebody else. Maybe she's had enough of the bull. Do you understand? She don't want to be with the past, No. Yeah, I'm getting a wrinkle, guys. Yeah. No. Don't be with the past. Be with the new. Because the new is being sent by your Heavenly Father. When you go to the past, you get stuck in the past. It's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I can't. I can just tell you these stories that I'm kidding, you know? And please don't think this is my story. Because I ain't dating no motherfucker. And I did say motherfucker. That's right. And if you don't like I said motherfucker, then unsubscribe me right now. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm going to be fucking real. Yeah. So don't get this twisted. Yeah. But yeah, guys. Work on yourself. And I know it's probably hard for you to be alone. You know, maybe it's hard for you to be alone right now. I don't know. All I know is when I'm alone, I'm never lonely because my angels walk with me, talk with me, and eat with me. That's right. And your angels do that too. But have you done the work to even realize that they're there? I don't know. Do the work. Do the work. And love yourself. Because you, whoever's watching, you better love yourself. When you don't love yourself, you can't love another human being. I don't care what anybody says. I've learned this in this lifetime. If you don't love you, you will never find your match. Do you understand? When you love you, you're going to find your match. You're going to find your mirror. So start loving yourself. The more you love yourself, the more closer that person comes to you, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. I don't even know who my person is. I don't. I really don't. But I know he's going to believe in God. That I know. And if he don't, he ain't the fucking one. That's right. That's all what I got to say. Namaste.